They finally did it. The chapter is over. The era is over. It's time to start the healing process. We're going to put the tweet on the screen right now from Shams Charania saying, breaking, the Dallas Mavericks and owner Patrick Dumont are expected to fire General Manager Nico Harrison at a 10 a.m. Central Time meeting on Tuesday, sources tell me and Tim McMahon. Shams went on to, quote, tweet this tweet, saying the Mavericks are firing Harrison 9 months after the jarring and stunning Luka Doncic trade, a move for which Dumont took accountability and accepted as a mistake in a courtside interaction with a fan on Monday night. We're actually going to put the original tweet back on the screen because this is really funny. So this was tweeted by Shams at 10:26 in the morning in Eastern Time. He said the meeting was at 10 a.m. Central Time. So this dude, Nico, pretty much saw the tweet as he was on his way to the meeting saying, oh, well, I know what's going to happen now, that he was going to get fired.
Wow.
Okay.
Because, I mean, we knew over the past couple of days that he was going to lose his job regarding, like all of what happened, surrounding these situations. I have a few more tweets we're going to put on the screen right now. I might as well just get them all out of the way. Yeah. More stuff came out regarding Nico Harrison. There is a tweet from Bleacher Report saying Anthony Davis tried to convince the Mavs to let him play, and former GM Nico Harrison urged him to return, but the team medical staff cited the potential for a torn Achilles if he returned too soon. Remember, last week he had the calf strain.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened with both Damian Lillard and with Tyrese Halliburton, and we saw it with Kevin Durant in the finals in 2019.
Yes, sir.
When you strain your calf, you're putting your Achilles at risk because your body's already weak in that spot, and you're trying to compensate. So as soon as something like that happens, and we know how fragile AD is anyways, it's just not a good look.
No.
So AD said he wanted to play?
He wanted to play,
But
yeah.
Nico was
AD,
urging.
bro. It's not worth it, bro.
It's not worth it.
Just rest.
We're going to put another tweet on the screen. This is from Shams, but it's an open letter from Mavs owner Patrick Dumont to the Dallas Mavericks fan base, saying, Dear Mavs family, on May 30th, 2024, the Mavericks won the Western Conference Championship. We came up short in the NBA Finals, but we all agreed our future was bright. As fans of this franchise, you have every right to demand a commitment to success from us. No one associated with the Mavericks organization is happy with the start of what we all believed would be a promising season. You have high expectations for the Mavericks, and I share them with you. When the results don't meet expectations, it's my responsibility to act. I've made the decision to part ways with General Manager Nico Harrison. Through the majority of the 2025-26 season remains to be played, and I know our players are deeply committed to a winning culture. This decision was critical to moving our franchise forward in a positive direction. I understand the profound impact these difficult last several months have had. Please know that I am fully committed to the success of the Mavericks. Thank you for your support. Thank you for holding us accountable, and thank you for your passion and for your patience. You deserve transparency and a team that reflects your spirit. Our goal is to return to winning basketball to Dallas and win championships. Our family is committed to that mission and to continuing to invest in Dallas and the Mavericks' future. Please join me in continuing to cheer on our players and supporting all of those who work to make this organization the best it can be. Go Mavs. Thank you, Patrick.
It's a nice
So
statement.
very promising considering no one really knew the dedication that the owners had. There was rumors of them potentially going to Vegas because of all the casinos they own. And we're going to put one more tweet on the screen from the NBA Central saying Nico Harrison is going to take some time away to focus on himself and his family after dealing with a tough situation, according to him in air quotes.
Yeah, of course.
Said he's in good spirits. He's going to take some time to be with himself and everything of that nature. So before I turn the floor over to you guys, I guess just for some more added context, Mark Cuban sold the team after the 2024 season when the Mavericks made the NBA Finals. They looked incredible that season after making all those trades to make the team better around Luka and Kyrie and everything of that nature. You lose to a Celtics team that was just God tier. They were insane. And then you just trade the guy a few months later. And now everything's just starting to crash and burn. You draft Cooper Flag with the number 1 pick, and everything just falls apart. And now we're in this situation. I obviously have thoughts on how I feel about this guy and this whole situation, but I want to turn the floor over to you guys first. So we're going to go to Antoine. Sorry, I have the hiccups. What are your general thoughts and reactions to, this decision from the Dallas Mavericks? And how would you sum up, I guess, the last year and a half from Nico Harrison?
I guess for his tenure in Dallas, he will no longer be known for building that championship team and getting them to the finals. That Luka trade's forever going to tarnish his legacy there, which is quite unfortunate for himself. I've heard things through the media that, he's the fall guy because Dumont apparently is the one that wanted this trade to happen. I don't know how accurate this is.
Really?
I do believe it is inaccurate.
Okay.
From what Shams said yesterday, or whenever the day he got fired, was Nico Harrison brought this idea to Patrick Dumont, and he went and he okayed it essentially.
Okay. All right, so
he's the one that okayed it though.
Right, but Nico Harrison, I think, was still going to do it anyways.
Well, we can't say.
I think owner overrules
Yeah.
It depends.
GM in that sense.
But at the same time, you trust the guy you hire. So you're
Yeah,
going to trust
right.
his judgment.
Yeah.
I don't really think Patrick Dumont is a basketball mind. I don't think he really knew any better.
Yeah, I mean, the only guy that knows is Nico. If he ever gets an interview with somebody, we'll have the answer.
Exactly.
But as of now, I guess he's the one that pulled the plug. General manager's job is to execute these trades. So again, he has final say. I'm putting it all on him.
On Nico.
Even if Dumont gave the okay, I'm still on Nico because you can say no, but then you kind of risk your job. But I don't know the whole backstory. But the culture in Dallas, especially in their home arena with Cooper, was not great. And the fire Nico chance still going on with Cooper there is not good for his development. He does not need to live through that. But going back to the Luka trade again, you never make that trade.
No.
You never make that trade. You are in one of the most coveted jobs of sports, which is a general manager. I guess any team works because I think any team, if you're a general manager, you were at the top of the top.
Right.
And being with the Mavericks and having a player like that is homegrown, and you move him to a team that, of all teams, everybody's going to hate. You could have moved him to anywhere else. I'm sure people would have hated it less besides the Mavericks fans. But you moved him to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
Of every team in the NBA, 28 to be precise, because those two teams are already involved in the trade.
Right.
But 28 other teams, and you didn't contact any other general managers to, I guess, get a better offer, because we know every team would be calling that phone from midnight to the next day with offers. But just didn't happen. It was a Lakers thing, and again, a lot of conspiracies with that.
NBA conspiracy.
A lot of conspiracies with the draft lottery.
Yeah.
We can go on and on about that, but again, Nico needed to go. I think it's for that team to move forward, you got to get rid of all the fire that's going on, and Nico was the last remaining part of that fire going on because of just what occurred. And you got to clear house, especially after something like that happens, and how the team is starting this year, especially with AD again being injured 5 games in, and the team not looking good. Clay, Kyrie's coming back from injury. The team right now is not in a good spot to compete. I think right now, they may have to blow it up. When I say blow it up, I think just Anthony Davis, if I'm being honest.
Well, yeah, they are working with Anthony Davis's team over the next few months to decide on what they want to do with regards to a trade.
I think blowing it up is just solely Anthony Davis. I think you can keep Kyrie when he comes back because that player is so much more better of caliber than AD. I think right now because of body and physical, mental,
But what are you going to even get for Anthony Davis? I think that's the problem.
Exactly. But again, unless you waive him like you do a la Milwaukee, but you don't want to do that. You want to get some assets back.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to get assets back. And this is where I'll ask you the question here, Gio.
Yeah.
Is that the Mavericks are committed to now trying to turn the page, get themselves back to where they were. I don't know if any of you saw this, but the other night they broke their 24-year straight streak of selling out home games.
Yeah.
That, I think, was the final straw. Because at the end of the day, what is Patrick Dumont known as? A businessman. And when that stuff happens, that is a big red flag. Because if you're general manager that you did not hire, you inherited that team with the general manager there, and he inherited a team that prevented you from selling out a home game, that can't happen. You're in a big market in Dallas. Yeah. That's something you need to do every single night.
Yeah.
But no matter what the Mavs do, are they in a lose-lose situation, whether they try and continue winning with this team or if they blow it up?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Here's my thing. As a Nico Harrison intern, or a former intern of Nico Harrison,
If you know, you know.
I kind of support him, but not really. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So here's my spin on this. I think it was too quick. The firing was a little bit too quick. And obviously there's a lot of pressure from the fans and everything. Fire Nico chants in the crowd. I get it. But I think that you kind of have to wait it out because he never got the full opportunity to see the team that he built together play together, which is Kyrie and AD and Cooper Flag and the rest of the guys, which is, they have a good supporting cast as well, right? Let's not forget about those guys. So like we never got to see them all together healthy on the floor, and that's not Nico's fault, right? These players are injured by themselves. They got injured by themselves on the court. AD, we do know that AD is injury prone, and I guess you can put some of the blame on Nico because we all knew that AD is injury prone, so you have to factor that into the equation.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think it's an overreaction, and I think it's a sign of weakness by the owner, because he's also the one that okayed it. So let's not act like you told Nico not to do this. You okayed it too, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think it's a sign of weakness to go ahead and fire the guy for okaying a trade that he brought up and requested to you. So I don't know. I love the statement that he put out. That was great. Great statement. He probably had his intern write his statement for him. Kudos to his intern. He did a good job of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sold on this owner. I'm not.
I'm not either, but this was 1,000% the right decision. I mean, this man has turned himself into an absolute clown. And I'm very disappointed in the general manager he became because, look, there are so many players in this league that I understand are not meant for those big-time playoff moments like a Donovan Mitchell or a Joel Embiid. And there's obviously young stars like an Anthony Edwards who still just can't get over that last step. There's maybe three or four players at this current moment in time that are in contention for the best player in the world. Luka Doncic has been one of them for the past 2 or 3 seasons. And a talent like his does not come around very often. And I would have understood it if they had lost to OKC in the second round. I would have understood it if he maybe missed an entire season. I would have understood it if he didn't make the NBA Finals. But your number one option that you drafted, the guy that you've built this team around, you built the perfect team around him. Guys that are long, they can defend, they can slash because he's a playmaker. He gets them engaged, gets them involved. You saw what he was able to do. I don't care how healthy he was. You were not beating the Boston Celtics. That's not Luka's fault. That's not really even your fault. It's just how good Boston was. They spent the money on their team. Their team was stacked from top to bottom and then some. So because Luka came into that finals injured, because going up against teams like OKC and Minnesota who had all-time great defenses that season, they were going to bang them up a little bit. That's just how it works in the playoffs. You never walk out of the playoffs feeling good. Whether you win or lose, you're going to be banged up. You're going to get hurt. And to see him just trade him like that, especially for the package you got him for, especially when he just bought a house, it was just lame. It was deceitful. It was just not cool. Yeah. And it seemed to Nico that the new owners coming in gave him the freedom to do what he wanted to do because he knew that wasn't going to stand with Mark Cuban. He would have fired his ass on the spot.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
essentially that is essentially your vision. And you're going to tell me that your decision to win now with that team, and you're going to draft the number one pick. I love Cooper Flag. I think he's fantastic, but he's in no way, shape, or form ready for the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's not the decision you should have made. Anthony Davis is good. Max Christie is good, but in hindsight, they're not needle movers at all, not whatsoever. I think we were just trying to sell ourselves on the fact that could have been worse. We were trying to see like maybe this wasn't as bad as we thought. No, this is going to go down as the worst, dumbest trade in league history. Because not only did you do it, you did it for a package that was not even borderline. It was full on laughable. And the fact that you had the audacity to try and urge this man to come back with a calf injury, knowing his injury history, knowing all of that.
Yeah.
I can't support a guy for doing that.
Yeah.
To me, that breaks every bit of ethics possible.
Yeah.
And I think he needs this time away to collect himself and to kind of get away from the press and the bad buzz, because it was bad. As the owner of the Mavs, you don't want your entire arena saying fire your general manager.
Yeah.
That just can't happen, especially how bad they are right now, because the roster construction this year is putrid.
Yeah, I mean, like, to piggyback off Gio, like, Gio's saying it's not Nico's fault, like, it is, because, again, you have 28 other NBA teams that probably would have topped an offer, and you would have gotten a player that's not Anthony Davis with injury history in return. And, you, like, as a GM, you kind of have to know that.
Right.
Like, you know, AD, all right, like, I'm taking on some pretty baggage, like, a lot of baggage here.
Right.
This could go really bad for someone that's like Luka.
He is to blame for that.
He could have traded to...
Well, he made offers to the Wolves and the Bucks for Ant and Giannis.
Yeah,
and they said no.
Well, yeah, but again, that's you got to go to like another team that has a rising star. Like if he called like Chicago, Kobe White, Matas Buzelis, that's a great return already. Starting off draft picks, like you know, those are players that are going to be younger and getting better with age. Luka's age compared to AD's age is insane.
Yeah, Luka's only 26.
Yeah,
AD's 32.
The value of AD, it's not added up. Like if there was like a trade machine like. That's similar to like what MLB has with baseball trade values. Like the trade rating for with both sides, the value would be completely in the opposite direction for both people.
And that brings up the other problem. Sorry to cut you off, but that brings up the other problem where Luka wasn't on his supermax and was, you know, you would have gotten at least 3 to 4 picks for him. Still probably would have been less than Mikal Bridges, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But you would have gotten him all those picks along with a young rising star, just like when the Clippers traded SGA and 5 first-round picks for Paul George.
Yeah.
Right? We knew that was the price to pay for a guy like that. Luka's way better than Paul George has ever been in his career. And now, with Anthony Davis eating up like $50 million from your cap, and you're in the second apron, you have to recuperate almost all of that money in a trade, which means the package that you're going to get back for Anthony Davis is going to be an awful, and I mean an awful contract. Something that's not going to help you rebuild. You might not even get a first-round pick for Anthony Davis at this point in his career. That's how bad Nico Harrison put the Mavs in. Because we understand the Luka trade was garbage. It's the worst decision ever. But now the ramifications of the future, it's not good at all. And they have a swap with the damn Thunder in 2 years. I can't even imagine. The Thunder already might have 4 first-round picks in next year's draft. They could win the lottery.
Now, the Thunder is a great example of a good general manager.
Yeah.
Sam Presti knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's the example of stacking up draft picks.
Yeah.
You got to build your team through the draft.
Yeah. That's
how it rolls because like the younger, the better because you have so much more time to develop.
Yeah.
If you're getting, i.e. Anthony Davis in a trade or somebody else, the time on that is not very much. And that's the issue.
Yeah.
So you got to draft. That's literally how it comes down to.
So, look, man, at the end of the day, the Mavs have put themselves in a really bad situation. It really didn't matter when they were going to fire Nico Harrison at this point because they're kind of in a deep hole regardless. So we'll see what their plan is throughout the rest of the season. They'll probably wind up trading Anthony Davis. They'll probably be very bad.
Yeah.
And they have their own first-round pick next year. So if you can get rid of those assets, you can try and at least win the lottery again, or at least a top 10 pick to build yourself a team with Cooper Flag and company.
Exactly.
But that remains to be seen.
Yeah, you need Cooper to develop because you can't mess up that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be another thing. They got blessed with that. If they didn't have Cooper, I don't know where they'd be right now.
They just need a point. They need a point guard in the door.
Yeah.
As quickly as humanly possible because D'Lo ain't cutting it.
No, yeah, of course.
Not at all.